Markelle Fultz has had a rough couple of seasons in the NBA. He somehow forgot to shoot the basketball and this hurt a lot of his play. His shot and overall confidence was just not there coming into the league. He only played in a total of 33 games with the Philadelphia 76ers before being shipped to the Orlando Magic, and everyone was quick to jump and label him a bust. The term bust is just easily thrown around, and personally I feel people can't wait to use this term before waiting things out for some reason. There are some people that believe Zion Williamson will be a bust. Like, come on now. Injuries really shouldn't be the reason you are called a bust, especially so young in your career. Guys like Anthony Bennett, Kwame Brown, Darko Milicic, Hashim Thabit are more so bust than someone like Greg Oden or a Markelle Fultz, because we've seen these guys play on a consistent basis and they just weren't good players. Greg Oden was only 22 years old when his knees basically said, yeah fam, we're done, and he just couldn't go out there and consistently play. All I'm saying is give Markelle Fultz time before all those bust labels are thrown on him, because as you'll see in this video, Markelle Fultz can ball. Before I start this video, if you do like the video, please like and comment. It really helps in YouTube's algorithm to get it out to more people. This is a channel meant to spark a conversation around the league, and the more people in that conversation, the better. With that being said, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Markelle Fultz this season has played like a more confident player. This season he is averaging 12.1 points, 5.2 assists, 3.3 rebounds on 47% from the field, 25% from 3, and 72% from the free throw line. His true shooting percentage on the season is at 52%. Now, I'll say this much. I don't really have too much positive things to say about the Orlando Magic franchise, but I am glad that Markelle is on this team because the Magic desperately needed a young point guard, and Markelle will be the lead point guard for the future of this team, and they get to move on from DJ Augustin. Markelle's biggest strength has been driving the basketball, and he has been efficient at finishing around the rim. In the restricted area, he has shot it at 62%. He is really good at running the open floor, getting by the defense and bursting to the hoop for a layup or a dunk. If you don't slow him down when he has a head of steam going to the rim, it is basically an easy bucket for him. He runs the break well and paces well. Sometimes a teammate will grab a rebound, pass it to him, and Markelle is pushing up the floor. He's running up there, but he doesn't go too crazy driving it to the rim, going through the defense. He takes a quick second to scan the floor and make the decision. Is the defense still setting up, and can I drive it? Or is the defense set and that opportunity is gone? Let me just slow it down. He's able to read that as a point guard and doesn't have too many possessions where he's driving it to the rim without a plan. He can finish with either hand, and the guy is very crafty getting to and finishing around the rim. A lot of tough finishes he did this season, very strong, around 200 pounds, making it easy to absorb contact, finishing at the rim, or bump a defender off and finish. He's really good at finishing through contact. Some of his drives and finishes are James Harden-esque, someone who he was compared to a lot in college. Markelle has some sneaky athleticism to him, where he can just explode and get up high. Some plays just extremely athletic finishes and burst to the rim. He has good control on the ball, very quick to change direction, and he constantly utilizes a hesitation move that keeps defenders on their heels. He's very unpredictable as a player. His hezi move opens up a potential drive or pull-up mid-range shot. He seems like he is more of a ball-dominant player, as he doesn't look to operate or look for cuts when he is playing off ball, usually just standing around watching Vucevic or Evan Fournier work. Fultz's offense does run hot and cold at times. Sometimes you forget he's even in the game, and his mark just hasn't been placed. It's strange that he only attempts around 2 free throws a game. It seems like he should be attempting more, especially with how much contact he absorbs getting to the rim. I can't really measure why this is the case. His driving opens up his playmaking ability, and his teammates have been able to benefit from a guard that can actually drive the basketball consistently and have the vision and passing skills to get it to them on the money. Fultz can even at times get flashy with some of his passes that he makes. He has a good feel of passing it to the right spot in the right situation to his team for an open bucket. He averages around 5 assists a game, and honestly, he should have more. A lot of possessions this season where Fultz made a good play and a teammate just couldn't capitalize on it. Fultz does have very good vision and lets everything develop and is quick to react off that. He's a player who is very patient with the ball in his hands and sometimes sees a play develop before anyone else does. Sometimes he gets a bit too passive, isn't all too aggressive throughout the game, and I get he's looking more to get his teammates involved. Very unselfish player, but there are times where he should look to score for himself. He also works well in the pick and roll, sometimes putting his man in jail and either finish it for himself or getting it to a teammate. He isn't elite as a passer just yet, but he shows all the tools that he could be a lead guard and average around 7 to 8 assists in the future. When his team comes together and the Magic fully commit to him being the guy to have the ball in his hands the most rather than Evan Fournier, DJ Augustin, Terrence Ross, he does struggle a bit making passes accurately. Sometimes he mistimes them and or his teammate isn't all too ready for the pass. Fultz averages around 2 turnovers, and the bulk of that comes from bad passes. Now, a lot of defenders look to sag off of Markelle, especially in the pick and roll, because of how poor he has been as a three-point shooter. But Markelle is able to pick his spots when this happens, and if there isn't an opening to dish off a pass off the pick and roll, he takes a mid-range shot instead. Constantly searching, looking and finding that opening to attack, and he has a good feel of knowing when to go full in and finish or just pull up for a mid-range shot. It's a good feel to have because he is going to be dared constantly to shoot the 3-ball. Fultz in the mid-range has been good given the circumstances surrounding his shot. He shot 43% from the mid-range area, and it has been his go-to when there isn't space to drive or anyone to pass to. He is more comfortable taking mid-range shots, and as long as he is hitting it consistently, I urge Markelle to keep taking them until he develops a consistent 3-point shot that he is comfortable with. The Magic likes to run this 2-man screen for Fultz that is able to open up, getting a quick mid-range shot off. His mid-range shot has looked way more smooth, and he shoots it with more confidence than his 3-point shot. His 3-point shot still looks a bit funky, and he is still finding his shot there. He has not been good at all as an off-the-dribble shooter or catch-and-shoot shooter, as he is shooting in the mid-20s when taking threes. He attempted 118 threes overall on the season, only making 30 of them. But overall, he has time to grow and get better as a 3-point shooter. Thing is, he isn't all too keen on taking them, attempts around 2 a game. But I can say at least he is still shooting the basketball, but from the mid-range area, and he is building that foundation of confidence in his shot, and when he is really confident, he can look to expand his game to the 3. His 3-point shooting is his biggest weakness right now in his career, but I'll say this, he is going to be left open a lot from 3. He is going to have to show no hesitation shooting it from there consistently. Markelle on the defensive side of the floor makes me really confident that he's going to be a starter in the NBA for a long time. With a coach like Steve Clifford, who preaches a lot of defense, Markelle is the ideal young guard you want as your lead point guard defensively. He averaged 1.3 steals this season, able to read passing lanes and strip an offensive player. He makes a good amount of defensive plays, and there's a lot of growth from him on that end this season. Something to be excited for, to see him grow even more as a defensive player going on into the future. He doesn't play defense too much with his hands, but more with his body, and he moves laterally well and keeping up with the offensive player. He isn't by any means the best defensive player out there. There are times he gets lost on his man, where his man is, not communicating well with his team. He doesn't really rotate well defensively, At times he does overhelp on a play and it ends up biting his team. He gets baited at times and taken advantage of by the more craftier players in the league. These are more teachable things, and over time and gaining more experience, he'll get better and even better on the defensive end. What separates him from other guards is that he tries a lot. He doesn't look to give up on a play. He is trying, and I've seen plays where he hustled to try and shut down a possession and get a block, but sometimes it ends with him getting scored on. But it's just that effort that Fultz have to keep hustling that should be appreciated. He is going to be a guy that averages a lot of steals and be a good on-ball defender. He has a near 6'9" wingspan, and his strength helps him a lot in standing his ground on defense and putting pressure on the offensive player. For what the Orlando Magic was able to get from Markelle, he has been a steal for them. Markelle can ball, and if this Orlando team prioritizes building him around their younger players, he will definitely stand out. Markelle is a great playmaker and has the tools to be an elite level playmaker. Everything in his game is there. He just needs to look to be constantly aggressive and building on his three-point shot. I'm glad he is the lead guard in Orlando and getting the nod to be a main ball handler, because he really has the potential to be a special player. I don't think he would get that opportunity anywhere else. At Markelle's best, I can see him averaging around 20 points, 7 to 8 assists, and 4 to 5 rebounds. He needs more opportunities to get into the free throw line, as well as becoming confident in shooting three-pointers and not being surrounded by inconsistent players. Markelle is far from a bust. Let's just get that out the way. He has just had an unlucky start to his NBA career, and I'm interested to see how he grows from there. He is getting a second chance with the Orlando Magic, and with Markelle being a hard-working and talented player, he can really be a problem in the near future.